Hey, this is Dr. Joy, your relationship expert and favorite sexologist. When you give me a call, you want me to comment on your relationships. That's perfectly fine. But remember, I'm going to give it to you real. I don't give this to you from a place of, I have the PhD, I have the books. I give it to you from a place of living in this real world, having real relationships, making real mistakes, and picking myself back up for real, for real. I'm always going to connect on some level with your story. I felt that pain. I've been on that path, and I've come to the other side of it. I want you to come over here too. This is a place of truth. This is a place of knowing how to cultivate peace of mind, making my decisions from a place of pure joy. You can sit in whatever space you like to for as long as you like to. I just want you to always have that autonomy to know I'm doing this because this is my story, not because someone tricked me into it, not because you pulled the wool over my eyes. It's because this throne that I'm sitting on right now is the one that I choose to sit on. It should always be that way. So if you want clarity, if you want to make your decisions from a space of being completely empowered, give me a call. Dr. Joy is always going to keep it real and get you straight. Talk to you soon. Hi, this is Dr. Joy. Hey, Dr. Joy, I'm giving you a call because I need some help navigating some different things. So if you have a minute, let me explain myself. Okay. So I wanted to understand different ways to overcome what I call choking whenever I have a conflict arise. Like, can you give me a template, like how I can initiate or navigate conflict? How do I start to have hard conversations when I need to express discomfort to my partner or initiate some change in a healthy way, right? Can you help me find ways to discover what my needs are or how I can meet them maybe myself? So just to be clear, when I'm talking about choking, I have a hard time communicating through conflict as a result of not feeling safe enough to express myself as a child. Now, my relationships suffer heavily from that. Anytime I try to express my concerns, the words get stuck in my throat and I literally choke. It's extremely frustrating for me. And while my boyfriend, he does his best to be patient with me, I can tell he gets frustrated sometimes as well. The other thing I do is exploding. Other times I tend to hold on to things and stay stuck in my head, worrying about how I'm going to say things until they spill over and just explode. This is usually followed by my need to respond by pulling away, isolating, stonewalling, all the toxic patterns I'm trying to break away from. I read that book Attached, and I identify a lot with that. I'm fearful avoidant. I have a lot of those tendencies. So then I have this internal war and then the solutions. Overall, I struggle with bringing up things that my partner has done or said that upset me. And I face an internal war instead, probably triggered from abandonment wounds, rejection, lack of self-worth. My partner will ask what I need or what he can do to help me, and that makes me feel helpless and frustrated because often I don't know how to solve my own issues. Dr. Joy, if you can help me, I'd really appreciate it. Okay. So what do you think? Okay. The way I see it right now, what you're talking about, the biggest picture is going to be your attachment style. And I'm really excited to know that you already know about your attachment style. So you are kind of like a leg up, right? Like you're ahead of the game. So kudos to you for that education. So you're a fearful attachment style, right? You want intimacy. We all want intimacy. We want to be connected. We want somebody to see us. We want somebody to understand us. But you want it kind of at like that arm's length. I get it. It terrifies you. I kind of don't want to depend on anybody. I don't want to disappoint anybody. I don't want to feel shamed. I don't want that character attack. Totally get it. So you don't want to ask for what you need, but you know no one can predict what you need. So you kind of have to ask for what you need, but you don't want to appear needy, right? I get it. You want to be able to do all these things on your own, but at the same time, you want to have a partner. And what's a partner for if they're not meeting some sort of needs? They're not there just for you to meet their needs, right? So, okay, I get it. So how do you avoid this whole like swallowing everything that you're really asking for and then eventually exploding because you expect this person to do the thing when you've kind of programmed them not to do the thing? You have to practice doing the uncomfortable thing. My dear, all these things, when it comes to our attachment styles, it really comes from what I call our original love story. We saw our parents, we saw someone in our household, whether it was like our aunts and uncles, or maybe just culturally, right? Like people in our neighborhood, people in our family, the people that we loved and we were close to, we saw them loving in a certain way. There were certain expectations that were had about what we're supposed to ask for, what we're not supposed to ask for, right? And you're repeating that thing and you almost put like a moral spin on it, how you're not supposed to want or need a certain thing, or you almost lose value as a person. Like if I ask you for things, if I want a thing, if I require a thing, I might lose value as a girlfriend that I need your help with something, right? I'm not the strong girlfriend. Would you actually continue to rely on me? Am I going to be as valuable if I need things from you? I don't make life as easy for you. This is a secret we don't all know. People like to be needed. Your boyfriend actually wants you to need something from him. He's dying for you to ask him to please help you. I know you don't believe it, but it's a thing. It's totally a thing. There's all of these human beings walking around the planet having these experiences that we've never had, that we've never seen. And so it's so tough for us to believe that they have experiences that are enjoyable, that we cannot connect with, but it's absolutely possible. So the only way for you to really get through this is for you to honestly go through it. You have to be courageous. So when I say courageous, that means doing something and having fear when you do it, right? So you are avoidant fearful. I get it. So that means you have a whole lifetime of carrying around being afraid of something. So that tells me that you know how to carry fear. You're already doing it. You are actually getting up every day and being brave. Did you know that? Because you're getting up and you're doing a thing anyway, right? You're in a relationship with fear. You could just say, I'm not going to do relationships at all, but you're continuing to do it. So I'm asking you to keep being brave and just do something else in your relationship. Ask for what you want and see what happens. He's probably not going to run away. He's probably not going to say, how dare you? Hell no, I'm not going to help you. He's probably going to go ahead and do the thing that you need. Is he going to do it exactly the way that you want? Maybe not. Maybe that'll take some time, but you have all the time in the world. You literally have nothing to lose because right now you're not getting what you want. Right now it's kind of escalating. Your body's starting to respond. Your throat is probably literally closing up on you when it comes time to say something, right? So give yourself some practice. Start looking in the mirror, looking at yourself and asking for things. Practice the conversation. Ask for something small. Give yourself baby steps and also give yourself compassion. This is the thing about also our attachment styles. We have a little bit of a shame around it. So I want you to release some of that. Understand that your attachment style came at a time in your life when you needed it. All of our attachment styles that are not secure came from a place of trauma. But we needed that attachment style in that moment because it had to protect us. We needed to survive a person, a situation, a time, a space, right? And you did survive it. That's why you're here now. But what we do is we apply it to all the relationships that we have. And we don't have to. So you may be applying this attachment style to this current relationship that could be a healthy one. It could flourish. But now that you know what your attachment style is, the goal is for us to produce more secure behaviors. You're going to slip back to this attachment style. It's your default. That's fine. Forgive yourself. Tell him what your attachment style is so he doesn't take things personally when that's popping up. But you have to do the work to do different behaviors and prove to yourself that it is not a requirement for you to protect yourself in the way that you have. You've done it long enough. Now it's time to put down some of the weapons and show yourself that you are not dating the enemy. Okay? Good luck. All right. That's right, blow your own mind. this is Dr. Joy. How can I help you? Hey, Dr. Joy. I'm so glad I was able to catch you. So, I'm looking for a little bit of help.
Right. Yeah.
Let me give you a little bit of context first. So, I've been friends with benefits with someone that wanted to help me explore my sexuality. We've known each other for about 6 years. I really wasn't interested in him at first, and I got to know him intimately last year. We used to see each other a lot. I took him on dates and all that stuff. After he got laid off, I tried to support him by sending over job applications. I took him to this foot spa place, and I just wanted him to relax. I showed him I was in his corner, and I wanted to keep him going. But each step I took forward, he took a step back. You wouldn't believe it, but he went ghost for about 2 months, and I didn't bother hitting him up. Then, out of nowhere, he came back and apologized and let me know he just focused on starting his business. I figured he was going through something that didn't have to do with me, and I accepted his apology. But I was unfulfilled and trying to figure out what I want. Each time he reached out after, it was always, I know you think I had bad communication, but sometimes it's just easier to like a post than have a whole conversation. That made me feel like my conversations were no longer worth his time. I missed the emotional openness from talking with women. I told him, if you want to like a post instead of talking, cool. Those that want to be in my presence will be in my presence. He went off about how that's weak, how I'm asking for too much, how I'm the problem, how I'm not special, etc. Asked for space. It's been about 3 weeks. I'm proud I haven't texted, called, or anything. I'm working on moving on, getting back into therapy and finding myself, reestablishing my boundaries, but having trouble just being present when going out, trying to enjoy myself. Space has been a good thing, but I don't believe it'll resolve the issues. I'm not sure how much time is needed until it's time to move on, or if the situationship is even worth it. Do you have any feedback? Because I'm a little bit lost. I'm feeling good, but at the same time, I'm like, ugh, I don't like how this is sitting on me.
Okay, you know what? I mean, oh my goodness. Sometimes, some of y'all questions really be leaving me speechless. So I don't know right now in this moment if I'm speechless or just if I'm going to be hyper verbal, because this has kind of got me angry. Like the disrespect. Listen, I understand sometimes how we don't really know what to do, because sometimes we are dealing with people who, when they connect with us, especially with a situationship, right? The reason we even allow situationships is because they have that je ne sais quoi. They usually have something going on with them that is so powerful, so special, so like that we will deal with the shenanigans. And they know they have it. That's why they talk that talk. That's why they walk that walk. But listen, excuse me? No. How dare you tell me I'm the problem and I'm not special? And he called you weak? These words coming out of this person's mouth, just disrespectful. I don't care if you are a family member, if you are a situationship, if you're the deacon, if you are anybody. There's no reason. When people start to say words to you that are just blatantly insulting, I mean, I've been absolutely angry at people, and it takes a lot for me to actually go to insults. When people start saying those things to you and they've been intimate with you, typically those are projections, right? They become defensive and they are tapping into some old story, some old insecurity that they have. It's being built up from whatever has happened to them in the past, and they're dumping it all on you. Also, this thing around how, they just ghosted you. They are showing you, they're revealing to you a pattern that they have. It's very easy for them to just disconnect from people. And this probably has nothing to do with you, right? A person's way of communicating, disconnecting, losing themselves in the world, disconnecting from everybody, right? Has nothing to do with you necessarily. But he's really trying to drive it home that it is about you. And the reason that I disappear and I disconnect is because you're so not special. You don't have the ability to maintain my attention. Is that true? So you disappeared and all of a sudden you came back out of nowhere. Well, I had the ability for you to disappear and then suddenly rematerialize, Casper. How does that happen? Because ghosts don't, just go to other dimensions and then decide that they want to come visit me again if I'm not special. So whatever with all that nonsense. So basically what happened was you called him on his stuff. He didn't like being called on his stuff, right? He didn't want to be held accountable for something because it's something that he doesn't want to do for whatever reason. Something makes him uncomfortable. He has some inadequacy around being able to communicate. Maybe it's because he forgets. Maybe it's because when he does have to communicate in that way, he feels like he doesn't have enough to say. Maybe there's something that he's hiding. And if he has to communicate for a long enough amount of time, the conversation is going to get deep enough where he's going to have to reveal a thing that he doesn't want to reveal. So he can't be on the phone long enough. Maybe he doesn't want that type of relationship and he doesn't want to have to talk about the fact that he doesn't really want to have a deep kind of relationship. There's so many things that can be going on with the person that they don't really want to share with the person. But when people are not wanting to be honest, it's so much work for them, honestly. It's work for them and it's confusion for you. It's turmoil for you. So as long as you're dealing with a person who is not living in the same dimension as you, the dimension of honesty, right? You are always going to be suffering. So when you're saying you don't know whether or not the situationship is worth it to you, and you're also expressing to me that you felt sounds like a little bit of peace and fun and things like that outside of this. Well, which of these spaces, period, point blank, have you felt happier? That's your answer. Don't let people disrespect you. Don't let people try to change your view of self. Do not let anyone try to diminish your value. You do not have to play small to be with anybody. And if that is something that is a requirement to be with someone, that's not for you. No job, no person, no child, no amount of money is worth you playing anybody else for you to be there. Because you don't really do that well at playing someone else anyway. None of us do. Eventually it wears off. So that's the only answer I have for you. Hopefully that helps. Grab your freedom, identify what your true values are, and move and flow through those values. Let's not move and flow through somebody else's, reactivity, somebody else's issues, somebody else's anger, because you will always be jumping around and hopping around based off of what kind of day somebody else is having. Hopefully that helps. Hi, this is Dr. Joy. How can I help you?
Hey, Dr. Joy. So I really wanted to be able to get you on the phone because I don't know what to do. While going through a trial separation with my husband, I met a guy in an online support group. He and others in the group became close friends and we exchanged numbers. We grew our friendships outside of the group while continuing to go to group, right? So we're texting, we're talking on the phone, since we all live in different areas. Pretty normal thing to do. I thought I had a really genuine friendship with this guy who knew I was getting back together with my husband. So we had recently divorced. So all of us had talked about this stuff. Our friendship, it's continued to grow and I continued to go to the group after my husband and I got back together. Well, recently this guy, he's felt a little bit distant. I asked him if everything was okay with our friendship and he told me that he needed to end it. I don't force myself on others, but at times, it felt more like a dating relationship than a friendship. I have no idea where this came from because, if anything, I felt like he was the one in control of where our conversations went or how long they lasted if I initiated it. He said he has an avoidant attachment style, and I guess my question is, if it sounds like he's pushing me away because he has an avoidant attachment style and our relationship felt more like dating than a friendship. In a way, I feel led on because he'd asked me for my number. He would keep me on the phone longer by asking insightful questions and questions to get to know me. He had said he'd like to come visit during my city's summer festival. We had both expressed, that we valued our friendship, and I only ever saw it that way. And I'm confused as to what made it seem like we were dating, which made it difficult for him to remain friends. What do you think?
Well, attachment styles typically are going to apply when it comes to our intimate dating relationships. So if he was looking at this through the lens of his attachment style, then he would be looking at it through the lens of him dating you. So if he had the idea that the two of you were dating, or he had the intention of dating you, right? Basically, if he had a crush on you, if he was moving in that direction, if that's how he felt about you, then yeah, I guess your assessment would be accurate that maybe I guess you could say some of the pushing away could have to do with some avoidance tendencies, but that's not exactly how that works. So let's actually kind of remove the attachment style thing. I think we're always trying to, like, when we figure out a new thing, we're like, is this an attachment style thing? Is that what it is? So kudos to you for looking up attachment styles, trying to understand what it is and how it comes about. But I think I wouldn't even bother trying to apply it to the situation, because you are not in a romantic relationship with him, regardless of what his reasoning behind it is. You're wanting to know why this person who you consider to be a friend no longer wanted to maintain a friendship with you. I got to be honest with you. You may never know what the actual reason is, because he may never fess up and tell you. But I can tell you what I suspect. He had a little bit of a crush. Yeah, you're in the support group where you're separated, maybe trying to get back with your partner. And yeah, maybe intellectually he knew, but potentially he was hopeful that it maybe wouldn't work out with you and your husband. That stinks to hear that. But we get crushes. We can't really help it. It doesn't matter what we know is going to happen. People have affairs all the time, right? And so he probably felt like when you got back with your husband, he knew that he had feelings for you that would not really align with a friendship for you and with a friendship for a woman who is with a husband. He probably knew he was going to start to feel jealous watching you with your husband, hearing about you and your husband and your family and all those types of things. And it just would be kind of aggravating for him. So if anything, it could have been kind of a bit of mercy on himself and respectful towards you and your relationship for him not to maintain this connection with you and to become a little bit more clingy and a little bit more jealous every time he kind of saw more things with you and your husband. But this is a guess. I don't know him, you know what I mean? I don't know the whole relationship, but being a person who's worked with people with relationships for quite some time, it's a pretty good guess. I don't know that it's actually going to help you. Now, I know a lot of times when anyone disconnects from us, we want to understand because we're experiencing a rejection. It's like, my God, did I do something wrong? You could always directly ask him. Maybe down the line, he'll tell you like, yeah, I was having a hard time. I was going to feel jealous. I really liked you. But sometimes we just need a little bit of a space where our pride and things like that can heal and we can be more honest with you. So I would say just give it some time, ask him in a few months, and maybe he'll be able to tell you. Hopefully that helps. All right. Okay. Last call of the night for sure. Hi, this is Dr. Joy. How can I help you?
Dr. Joy, I've dated and I haven't found anyone who set off my happy alarms, or when they do, it's quickly ruined by red flags. Now I'm just numb. I don't trust anyone. I try for honesty. I go first, but that's not what I'm met with. I'm frustrated and I'm losing hope. I need to love someone. I have too much to give and it's becoming overwhelming. When I do give love, it's just pointless. So my question is, what are some tips to get back to being able to love again? It's scary out there. What do I do?
Listen, this is the one. This is the one I hate to hear, but I get it. I get it. First, listen, sis, it may be time for a detox. Sometimes we got to just step out, step back, leave the dating scene to the side for a little while. So you're calling somebody for help, but I got to tell you, everybody who's out there dating isn't calling somebody. Everyone who's out there dating isn't healthy. They're not trying to work on their stuff. They're not trying to be accountable for how they are. They're going out there just kind of reckless, smashing everybody's feelings, just doing the thing, leaving a whole lot of dirt and pieces. And And we have to navigate that world and make sure that we are emotionally, mentally, spiritually fortified before we go out there, because we'll take a whole lot of stuff personal that is really not personal to you. So detox may need it just for a little bit, because I don't want you feeling like everything is hopeless and that love is just gone and there's nothing out there for you, because love is always going to be there. It's always going to be in you. And there's someone else out there who's like literally looking for you, right? What I seek is also seeking me. That is always going to be a thing that is true. But we need to take a break. So the thing about it is, sometimes what we have to do is we have to kind of raise to that vibration, that level, that energy of the energy that we are seeking. The energy that you are currently in, I can hear it in every fiber of your being, is the energy of hopelessness, right? It's the energy of defeat, of despair, of fear, of nothingness. And that's the only thing that's going to come around you. That's the only thing that's going to come towards you. A lot of settling will probably start to happen. Like, okay, are you able to have a conversation? Do you speak the language that I speak? I guess that's enough, right? Or maybe you speak half the language I speak. Maybe that's enough. I'll just do that. Like, you can talk. That's good. Fine. You'll keep me company. Good. So we will do that little by little. It'll start to kind of like just chip away until you have so many of those settle people in front of you. It feels like that's all that there is. You feel flooded by that thing and you don't even know how you got there, but you are there, right? Time to step out, breathe a little bit, start to come back to center, start to remember who you are. Long time ago in my practice, I had a lot of people coming talking about the same thing. They were like, I'm tapped out, I'm out of here, everyone's the same. Is everyone the same, or are you the same and you keep dating the same way and you find yourself in the same cycle? Are you repeating some of the same patterns? Are you repeating maybe your original love story, the story that you saw your parents go through, your siblings go through? Are you going for the same stuff? Do you even understand your own values, right? And the other big thing is, did you date yourself first before you even got out there? What I mean by that is, like, do you actually live the life that you want to live? Do you do the things and the activities that you want to do with a partner and show the world and another person, hey, these are the kind of things that I want to do with someone? Not that I'm waiting for you to get here and then I'm going to live a happy life, right? Are you happy now? Or are you just waiting for someone to make you happy? So who are you going to attract? Another unhappy person who sees an unhappy person? Or are you going to attract a happy person who wants to be with a happy person, right? You have to be the love that I know that you are made up of, that you're saying you have so much of. Step back into that, but you're so far removed from it because right now you're just in that space of it can't be possible. So you have forgotten you. You got to get back to doing the things that help you remember you. When's the last time you laughed at something? When's the last time you laughed at yourself? You told the joke and no one else laughed, but you did because you know that you are so damn funny. When did that happen? Get back to her. Get back to doing those things that light you up. Doing those things with the people that you have in your life that you do love. May not be romantic love, but love exists in many forms. Get back to doing the hobbies that you weren't doing before you were inundated with swiping or going on speed dating or whatever way you're dating, right? Like, get back to the loves of your life. Love in our life is not just romantic. It is absolutely abundant, and you are turned away from that abundance, and it's making you very scared. Turn back towards abundance. Remember abundance, remember yourself, remember the whole world is not just around dating. Remember love and remember you. So, I have a bunch of resources. Keep following. I'll make sure to, keep providing that kind of stuff so that you get some daily sources of that. But if you haven't grabbed the book yet, Why Won't You Call? Definitely do that. Every chapter, at the end of every chapter, there's going to be an activity so that you can actually practice getting back to you. Not practice getting the guy, but you're going to be practicing getting the goddess. I want you to understand yourself so much that you recognize your glow up so easily that you're not worried about getting the person to call, that it's just a natural thing that the right person is going to be calling, texting. It's not going to be something that you're monitoring anymore. And you're not worried about whether or not you're actually settling. You'll be so clear on where you're at you know that you're lining up with the right person. So if you need any more resources, give me a call back, send me an email. You know where to find me. But don't be scared. Love doesn't go away. The person or the people you're looking for, maybe actually several experiences, they're out there, but right now, you're just moving from a space of fear, but I need you to come back and start moving from that space of love again. All right. Have a good night. You got this. Bye, goddess.